Hello everyone, and welcome to my Y and Our American TV Show official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the Abbott mansion, Jack finds Diane working in the living room. She's headed to the office soon. He asks her for lunch, but she's apprehensive. Tracy and Alan come in. They say Paris was beautiful, but it's great to be back. Tracy frowns when Jack says it's wonderful to see smiling faces around there. They explain that Alan packed up the townhouse and moved to Genoa City. He only needs a place to live. Diane and Alan leave the room, and Jack and Tracy hug. He asks about Ashley. Tracy says she's doing great, and everything is on track for her to be there for Abby's wedding. Jack tells her a lot has transpired while she was away. It's been stressful. Tracy asks whether it has to do with Kyle. Jack says it's not getting any better, and he has the feeling they can't solve this. At the club, Victor tells Michael he has a job for him. If he accomplishes it, it will go a long way in putting him back into his good graces. Michael mutters that this partnership has more challenges than the Olympics. Victor says he recently acquired a company that has potential to develop, but he didn't tell anyone he owned it. Michael asks, "What's the company?" Victor says, "Glissade. Kyle is going to run it solo." Michael comments that he's on a roll. What could you possibly need an attorney for? At Crimson Lights, Faith informs Maria and Nick she has an update on her mom. She adds she went for a drive last night, which was upsetting considering what happened to Lucy's mom. She apologized for troubling her. Nick asks if she believes she was being honest. Faith shrugs. "I hate saying this, but I don't know if she's really turned a corner. What if she's just gotten better at disguising what's going on?" On the patio, Phyllis tells Summer about Lucy picking a necklace of Heather's to wear to keep her close. It was gut-wrenching to watch. Lucy laid down after and she held her till she fell asleep. Summer feels it will help to have a bit of Heather with her. Phyllis believes it's excellent that Chance is on the case, and that someone found her phone, which could provide them answers. Summer's convinced Chance will get to the bottom of this. Phyllis doesn't think Daniel's had a genuine chance to comprehend everything because he's so worried about Lucy. Summer wonders whether there's anything else going on for her. Phyllis answers, "Yeah, I did this to you and Daniel." She wants to make it up to them. It was so unjust. If she could take it back, she would. Summer reminds her mother they have to live in the moment. Right now, they can't take away Lucy and Daniel's pain. Heather is gone. Phyllis says, "Why did this have to happen?" At Daniel's flat, he welcomes Chance in and expresses anger that the person with Heather's phone won't reply. He hopes they recognize how vital it is for him to have it back. Chance threatens they may not turn it over. Daniel questions why they'd seek out in the first place. Daniel complains that it's the only thing they have to go on right now. Chance reminds him there are other issues right now. How did a random individual acquire access to her phone at home? Sharon flashes to dumping Heather's body in the river and grimaces. She tells herself to get things together. Cameron comes, lounging on the couch, and tells her she has to make a move. He pushes her to phone the cops and send them to Daniel's flat. Sharon doesn't want him. She wants to talk to Cassie. Suddenly, Sharon thinks Nick is there telling her everything is going to be all right. She hugs him and he vows he'll always save her. She lunges in for a kiss, but he changes into Cameron, who says, "Nice try." She had to overlook the distractions. She still has work to accomplish. Alan and Tracy come at the club and seat at a table. Tracy wants to familiarize him with some Genoa City luminaries and directs his attention to Victor and Michael seated by the window. She says that Victor has a feud with her brother Jack. He constantly finds a way to torture the Abbotts. At Victor's table, he tells Michael that Kyle proved himself by taking a new product from Jabbott and delivering it to him. He, in turn, dismissed Audra. Michael says that sounds like corporate thievery. Victor says the product is in the planning stage. It's up to him to safeguard him from any fallout. Michael thinks he must be happy that Kyle undermined Jabet. Victor says he's finally breaking the tie to his father and displaying his loyalty to him, as it should be. Just then, Jack and Diane walk in. Jack asks her if she wants to go someplace. She says this is exactly where she wants to Jack, who squeezes his eyes tight and tells him to go away. Victor fears he's not only lost the respect of his son, but his wife. What the hell would John Abbott think about his son? No. Summer catches up with Chance at Society and informs him Paul Williams suffered a heart attack in Lisbon. He won't be able to come to Heather's memorial ceremony. Chance sighs. He'll have to notify everyone at the department, and his mom. Summer doesn't want to impose on his investigation, but she wonders if his talk with Daniel helped. Chance admits she had right to be unhappy, but why go to the river if you're trying to split town? Why would the person with the phone send a message, or how could they know her password? There are questions and not enough answers. Daniel and Phyllis come into Crimson Lights from the patio. Nick gives Daniel a hug. Faith and Maria tell him how sorry they are for his loss. Nick asks how he's holding up. Daniel says it's day by day, minute by minute. Nick says it's going to be like that. If he needs anything, he can call him. Faith urges them to inform Lucy she's thinking about her. Sharon steps in as Nick asks about Lucy, and Daniel replies she's doing as well as she can be. She listens as Daniel tells the others about Paul's heart attack after learning what happened to his daughter. Sharon gasps out loud. In the jazz lounge, Diane's drinking at the bar when Michael steps in and says, "That was quite the display up there. You okay?" He asks what occurred. She says Victor happened. Kyle went to work with him, and now Jack is so filled with hatred for the mustache that it's harming their marriage. She asks who sent him down there. Michael claims he came under his own steam and begs her to confide in him. Diane claims Jack and Victor's mutual obsession with one another has snowballed. It's harmed her marriage, their relationship with Kyle, even Jabet. Up in the dining room, Victor wonders how John would deal with Jack's many faults. Jack tells him they will work their way through this. Victor chastises Jack and his wife for firing his own son. His sympathies are with Kyle. At Society, Chance wonders if Heather went to the river to meet someone who knew her well enough to get into her phone. Summer doesn't think she knows anyone that well and asks if he's saying she was dating someone else. That would ruin her brother. Chance only knows this is starting to appear less and less like an accident. At Crimson Lights, Sharon urges Daniel to pass along her compliments for a swift recovery to Paul. Daniel replies he will. Phyllis suggests they should go. They leave. Faith asks Sharon whether she's okay. Sharon reassures her. Maria says there's been a lot of terrible news lately. Sharon insists she's well and pushes her daughters to depart. They exit. Nick and Sharon reflect on the dreadful news. He asks if she's free tonight and would like to have dinner with him. She says she'd enjoy that. He nods. It's a date. Sharon shines. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I will see you guys next time. Chance asks Daniel what Heather's demeanor was like before she took off. Daniel tells him things haven't been easy these past months. They both lost their jobs, and Faith and Lucy were in a vehicle accident. After, Sharon got incredibly upset at them. They had a couple run-ins with her. She went at Heather a couple of times, and the last time was the day before Heather decided to take off. Chance wants to hear more. Daniel believes the accident matched a lot of the events around Cassie's death, and it certainly touched up a lot of emotions in Sharon. He knows she'd been thinking about Cassie's death a lot, and seeing him reminds her of the loss. It came to be too much for her, and the accident cranked it up a notch. It didn't disturb him, but it upset Heather. He's persuaded Sharon's attitude played a huge factor in Heather wanting to run away. At Crimson Lights, Nick tells Faith and Maria they need to keep an eye on their mother. He decides he should spend some one-on-one time with Sharon. At the club, Sharon goes in and flinches as Tracy calls her over. Tracy refers her to Alan, who is a qualified psychotherapist. They discuss about her degree and Alan asks for her input for his book. She says maybe. She's operating a firm now that keeps her extremely busy. She rushes off and Tracy frowns. Alan teases Tracy about her connections. "You are quite amazing." He asks if she knows any realtors. Tracy doesn't, but she has someplace she'd like him to consider. She wants him to move in with her at the Abbott house. She has practically an entire wing. If that's not enough seclusion, they could move into the pool house. Alan balks. He doesn't want to swarm her or disturb her family. Tracy appreciates that. They can ask Jack and Diane first, but she knows it won't be a problem. Alan tells her he thinks it's a brilliant idea. At an adjacent table, Jack informs Diane that what's occurring isn't all Kyle's fault. Victor recognized a chance with Kyle and capitalized on it. Diane exclaims, "Oh, an opportunity that I caused." Jack protests, "I didn't say that." Diane claims that's what he meant. Jack feels she's attempting to pick a quarrel. Diane claims that he's so distracted by sitting in a room with Victor Newman that he can't see that their son is the one killing their family. At Victor's table, he and Michael observe Jack and Diane and comment on the dense tension. Victor says Audra informed him there was conflict between those two. He lifts his glass and exclaims, "Cheers, old boy." Daniel joins Summer and Phyllis on the coffeehouse patio. Lucy stayed behind. They ask about his talk with Chance. Daniel says he believes it's unusual that whoever acquired Heather's phone could unlock it and then didn't show up. What if someone hurt Heather? He worries she was the victim of a mugging. Phyllis can't understand why she was at the river when she told them she wanted to get out of town for a bit. Daniel says none of it adds up. At Crimson Lights, Faith concerns that Nick doesn't have time to spend one-on-one time with her mother right now. Nick will make time because she's struggling. They chat about Faith taking time off from school to be with Sharon. It doesn't mean she has to be her babysitter. Faith only wants her to be better, and to help her in just the right way. Maria taps her palm. This is hard. Faith and Maria both think it will be good for Nick to spend time with her. He can rate her better than they can. Nick said it will be a relief to see her back to her old self again. On the coffee house terrace, Daniel has walked away and rejoins Summer and Phyllis with a horrified look on his face. He says he got a call from a hospital in Lisbon. Paul had a heart attack shortly after he gave him the news about Heather. He's healing, but can't travel and won't make Heather's service. Phyllis gasps and Summer yells, "That's terrible." Daniel believes the sorrow of losing his own daughter nearly cost him his own life too. At the club, Diane encourages Jack to embrace the truth about Kyle and stop blaming Victor for everything. He agreed to betray them. Jack can't believe she has this little compassion for their son. Diane fumes that he's a grown guy who mistreated them and wants to damage their company. Everyone hears them as Jack protests that he doesn't feel they've backed him. Diane hollers, "You don't mean we, do you, Jack? You mean me." She doesn't think he's ever truly committed to believing she's changed and she's sick of it. She storms off. At Victor's table, he urges Michael to go check on her. Victor sends a smug smile in Jack's direction. Jack drinks his drink, and Tracy tells Alan she feels she should go to him. Alan suggests she give him a little time. She can't believe how horrible things have gotten. Jack would never dispute in public, particularly not in front of Victor.